Okay, now it's working just fine. And if I had to cut this in half to fit it around a pipe that was coming out of the wall underneath the sink and connecting to a P-trap and all that, I could do it just like that, and then I could cut this in halfway on both sides, caulk it, screw it down, and all that. Okay? Now, I gotta make a decision. Do I wanna leave this whole thing underneath there that big around the edges? No, I don't really want to. And the hole on the side is about 3/4 of an inch. And so I want it on the one side of it, okay? It's fairly tight on the other side, but I want to make this hole the same. So I'm gonna look at this, and I got 1.25 inches, and it's the shortest area, so I can make it 1 1/8 all the way around, can I? I could. I mean, I could leave it right there and have a little hole in the middle of that, of this cardboard if I wanted, and then measure off of that again. But I can just take this circle, it's close enough, and measure around it 1 1/8 inches. Okay. 1 1/8 inches. And yeah, I'm gonna do that all the way around it. Okay. I'm just getting my dots again. And this is how you can make any circle out of sheet metal. You know? I mean, you can do stuff like this. It never has to be perfect. I had some plumbers that cracked me up. A few months ago, they put a tankless water heater up in our attic, and he needed a cap because out of the top he had to tie into an existing exhaust pipe that was galvanized, like flash, you know, that was galvanized. It was round, 3 inches reduced. It went from 4 inch, then reduced down to 3 inch, and he didn't have a cap. And he was going to put some duct tape over it, or some of his tape. And I said, "Oh, you don't have a cap?" And he says, "No, I don't have a cap. I don't want to run to the store." And so all they had was a little piece of galvanized of the flashing pipe. And I took my tin snips and I just cut the end of the pipe, and I cut it some more until I could fold it all the way out, and then I cut a circle measuring the same way, and then I did the middle, and then I measured out like I'm doing now for the outside, and then I cut that and cut little snips, snip, 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 to make the folds, to fold it down and have enough room to screw it on. And I made it in probably, I don't know, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I handed it to him, and his eyes bulged real high, and I said, "Try it." Went right on. It went right on because I measured it just right, and he was quite impressed. He was quite impressed with that. Okay, where am I over here? What's happening here? Oh, I didn't measure that one. I don't know how I did that. Okay, I got that one, but I didn't have the right measurement over here. It goes up to there. Okay, 1 1/8 inches, 1 1/8. Okay, and now I can just kind of see where I need to go, and that's how you make your circle. Now I can just fill in dot to dot where I missed, kaboom. And now I'm going to cut that. Same way with my snips. And let's see if I can't do this here. just gonna be nice and round underneath there, underneath the cabinet, on the back side. Are you gonna sleep good at night knowing that this is back there? Yes, I am too. I'm not gonna miss a beat knowing that I didn't go to the store and buy a $10 trim piece, you know? Why on earth would I really feel I needed to do that when I got this right here? Boom. There you go. And I did all that out of this piece of 3 5/8 inch track. You like that? Okay? So all this, I'm going to end up throwing this away. Lots of times I'll save. If I don't have hardly any of that, I could cut this and save this little piece. I could make a little L bracket out of that. You know, if I really, truthfully wanted to, I could save that. Why couldn't I? I probably can. You know, if you got a place up in the attic to save stuff, save it. I'm going to save those little pieces. Thank you very much for that thought. Okay, I'm saving that, putting that up. I've got some other little pieces of flashing. That's not going to be thrown away. Okay, now with this, I'm going to actually drill some holes. I'm going to drill some holes in it around the edge. Maybe 4. I'll just do 4. And that way, I'm going to put caulking around underneath here, and then I'll put it on the outside. And what am I going to use for the caulking? Well, I'll show you that in a minute. Hey, we're busy right now, right? And see, I got just an assortment of different screws, and I don't need the ones with the flat. Maybe I should just use some little small ones like this. You know, I'm more liable to use these later on down the road than these small little ones, right? And I'll get these small ones. If you notice, they're the flathead ones, you know, the concaved area. So when I drill that, I want to drill it just a little bit bigger so that the screw will go down all the way in there. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm gonna see what kind of drill bit I should use for that. Something big enough for the front, but small enough so the whole head's not going to go out of it. This one looks pretty good. I think I'm going to go down one. Just down one for that. And that's where I got my wood out. And this should drill through it okay without starting a hole. Oh, I better put my gloves on because this, if it catches wrong, it can whip around. I've seen it happen before. And so, let's make sure that doesn't happen, right? Okay. And if you think it's gonna happen, you could always take your scratch awl and make yourself a little hole here. And I'm going to go straight across. And that's how that sucker's going to be held in there. Just like that. I don't like to make too many holes in my 2x4, so I'll use the same hole. Good grief. Either my drill bit is dull or the wood is hard. Make sure you got it in forward, right? And not reverse as you're drilling your hole. Look at that. I don't know if I had that in reverse or not. I'm laughing about it. Okay. Now I can just flatten that out on the knot right there so it doesn't dig in to the wood. And you can make this however nice you want. I can see it's not a perfect circle by any means. It's close enough for government work. Okay, there it is. Now I've got to put it in there, caulk it, and I've even got my other drill, the regular drill bit or regular end, and I'm going to screw it in that way. But first I'm going to put caulking behind this, and I'm going to caulk it right up against the wall, and I'm going to do that next. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to use for the caulking. That could save you some money too. All right, almost done here. Now I've got 3 different caulkings here. Which one do you want to use? Here, I've got some plumbing caulking. Well, this was like $5. The tube. This is what I usually use: all-purpose acrylic latex caulk plus silicone 40-year Alex Plus from DAP. This is Alex from DAP 2. It's not the Alex Plus. It's 25-year, and it's painter's acrylic latex caulk. That'll work just fine. Okay. This is $1 cheaper than this. This tube, I only have a little bit left. I'm going to save this tube here for something else. I'm going to use my cheap stuff, and this will work just fine. Okay, now see this? You know my trim is gonna come down 1.25 inches off of this edge. This is 3/4, so I got to put a rim all the way around there with my caulking. I want to do that because that will prevent all my little bugs from crawling out from inside the wall if I ever get anything inside the wall. Then I'll screw it down with my 4 screws. This backing is only a 1/4 inch, and then I can just use my little dinky screws and it'll be just fine. Boom, 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 and that'll suck it in there. The caulking behind it, if any spooges out, I can wipe it off, and then I'll caulk around the inside of where the flashing is, right up to the end of that, because this cap unscrews from right in here, so this can undo without messing around with the flashing. Okay, and that will make it work. You see how you're going to save $9 or $10 phooey on that trim cap, and if you needed to put a trim cap around that, you could do the flashing the same way and then cut it in half and then put it on just the same way. This one was cut nice and tight. If anything, all I got to do is put some caulking around it, and I probably should do that for kicks. Hey, like I said, it didn't really cost me anything. I already had the track here. I used that for flashings. I already had some caulking here. I already had a couple screws here. So that's why I say it's not going to cost you anything. And kaboom. That's what it's going to look like underneath your sink. I've got it caulked all underneath the flashing and all around on the top of the flashing, between the flashing and that pipe. Nothing is coming in to this condo, and I decided not to caulk around that one. You see this black pipe that comes out, it's got white stuff all the way around it. That's sheetrock, mud, and stuff that they didn't take off of there. So usually when you have pipes like that coming into the house, they always are, telling drywallers, hey, make sure you tape and seal around all of the plumbing pipes that come in underneath sinks and all that kind of stuff. And I'm pretty sure they did this bottom one, but for some reason they just didn't do the top one, did they? But like I say, I'm pretty sure they did the bottom one, so I'm going to leave that one alone for now. It would be tricky to get in there, but you know, you do a little bit, take your time, and get it in. And you know, just for the sake of argument, for that reason alone, I don't want to mess with it later, and I want to do it to show you what it's going to look like when you're done. Okay, I'll do it. Well, you ready to see how I did? It only took me a couple minutes. How's that look? How's that look around there? Looks pretty good, huh? Yes, sir. Okie dokie. Well, that's how your job's gonna look. It looks like I got just a hair. No, oh, that's okay. I think that's fine. Okay. Well, there you go. Hope you learned something.